Math Chapter 5 Lesson 1 Tutorial. Dividing whole numbers. Words to know when dividing. Dividend, divisor, and quotient. Dividend is the number being divided. Divisor is the number the dividend is being divided by. And quotient the answer to a division problem. Here's a picture just to help you out with that. So the quotient is always above the division line. Dividend is always inside and the divisor is always outside. Division is just splitting numbers into equal groups. So I'm going to lay out some blue circles and we're going to divide that once they're all laid out. And I'm going to show you how. There are 18 circles total. How many groups of 3 are there? So if I make 3 groups, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my 18 circles and I'm going to split them into the 3 groups. Watch how I do it. So far I'm dividing them up into the 3 groups. If you divide 18 into 3 equal groups, there are 6 in each group with no remainders. You can check that by counting the blue circles in each group square. There are 6 blue circles in each group square, and there are 3 groups. 6 times 3 equals 18. 18 divided by 3 equals 6. Now we're going to move on. We have to learn how to round numbers. The first rule is 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Those numbers will round down. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Those numbers will round up. So if I want you to round to the nearest hundred in these problems, you have to identify the hundredths place value in each problem. So in the first one, 506, 5 is in the hundredths place. 579, 5 is in the hundreds place. 124, 1 is in the hundreds place. 949, the 9 is in the hundreds place. 950, the 9 is in the hundreds place. 257, the 2 is in the hundreds place. Look at the number and the place value to the right of the hundreds place. If it is 4 or less, you keep the white underlined number the same. If it is 5 or more, you change the white underlined number to increase to the next number in order. So let's go ahead and look at the number to the right of each of our hundreds places. We have a 0, a 7, a 2, a 4, a 5, and a 5. So now we need to look at number 1. We have 506. We know that 5 is in our hundreds place, so we move 1 to the right, which is our 0. If it's 0, 1, 2, 3, or 4, the 5 is going to stay a 5. 506 rounds down to 500. 2, we have 579. We need to look at the 7. If it is 5 or more, the hundreds place rounds up, so we have now 600. For 124, we look at the 2. That means our 124 is going to round down to 100. 949, we look at that 4. Since it is 4 or less, it rounds down. 949 rounds down to 900. 950, we have a 5, so it's going to round up to 1,000. So we had to add a number in the thousands place to show that. We have 257. We look at our 5, we're going to round up to 300. So now we look at our number in our hundreds place, how they stayed or went up 1. The red numbers stayed the same. The blue numbers were rounded up. Long division. Do not stress about long division. It is super easy. You just have to do a lot of steps and take it slow. So we're going to do 255 divided by 5. What does that equal? Well, let's do some long division. So I'm going to start with my division sign. I'm going to put my 5 on the outside and my 255 in the middle. How many times does 5 fit into 2? 0, because 5 is larger than 2. How many times does 5 fit into 25? We know that it fits 5 times because 5 times 5 is 25. Now our next step is to subtract. We just subtract the 25 minus the 25, which gives us 0. Can 5 fit into 0? No. So we take our 5 and we're going to bring it right on down. Does 5 fit into 5? It sure does. 5 fits into 5 one time. 5 times 1 is 5. And then again, we're going to subtract. 5 minus 5 is 0. So the answer to our problem is 51. There's no remainders. 255 divided by 5 equals 51. Sometimes you have to guess and check if you don't know how many times a number can fit into another number. Example, if you don't know that 5 times 5 is 25, you need to guess and check. 5 times 3 is 15, that's too small, I know it would be higher than 3. 5 times 4 is 20, so I know it will be larger than 4. 5 times 5 is 25, and that is just right. If you don't know your multiplication facts, then you need to list out the multiples, always. So now we're going to move on and we're going to do some problems. Solve the long division. 63 divided by 3. I need to start doing my multiples. 3 times 1 equals 3. 3 times 2 equals 6. So I know that 3 fits into 6 twice. 3 times 2 is 6. 6 minus 6 is 0. I need to bring my 3 down. 3 fits into 3 one time. 3 minus 3 is 0. So 63 divided by 3 equals 21. Solve, then round to the whole number. 25 divided by 2. 2 fits into 2 one time. I know that because 2 times 1 is 2. Subtract, I get 0. Bring down my 5. 2 fits into 5 two times because 2 times 2 is 4 and 2 times 3 is 6, so it has to be 4. Or 2, sorry. 5 minus 4 is 1, so I need to add my decimal 0. 2 fits into 10. How many times? I'm going to list my multiples. 2 times 5 is 10. So I have no remainders. I have 12.5. I need to round that to the nearest whole number. Because I looked at my 2. 2 is where I need to round to because that is in my ones place. 5 is the number to the right of it because of my rule. 2 is going to round up to 13. So my answer, my final answer is 13. Pop quiz. We have 48 divided by 4. We know that that is going to be 12 because we solved it. What is the 4 called? It is the divisor. What is the 12 called? It is the quotient. And what is the 48 called? That is the dividend. So 4 fits into 4 one time. 4 minus 4 is 0. 4 fits into 8 two times because 4 times 2 is 8. So I'm going to subtract, and that's going to be a 0. So my answer is 12. That is how you do long division, and we have to remember to round.